Hi, so this is just a quick little update. So basically I have found a way to basically keep in the rectal syringe a little longer, so I thought I would share with you guys. Number one would be like cutting down basically whatever dosage you're doing. So I was doing 4,000 milligrams all at one time. I would say definitely try to do 2,000 milligrams at one time. Yes, someone had asked, am I just doing one dose a day? Yes, I'm just doing one dose a day. And so for the overall dosage, I'm taking 4,000 milligrams. And so basically I just take the dose at night. And you know, that's because I'd rather be home dealing with that than like out, like at work or somewhere. Cause you know, usually you have to like run to the bathroom like right away. So yeah, back to what I was saying. Cut it down. So like if you're taking 2,000 milligrams at a time, cut it down to like taking 1,000 milligrams at a time, and then go ahead, hold it in, and then as long as you can until you have to absolutely go, release it, and then you would just be doing another dosage right after that. So if you do it right before bed, I highly recommend it. The bad thing about it, I told you guys how like the first 2 weeks my body was just like so gassy. It was gross and it smelled awful. Sadly there's nothing you can do about that, but it does get a little bit better. The issue is the longer you take it in, the more bile you make. The more bile you make, the more gassy it gets. So if you notice after a few weeks of doing your routine and keeping it in for 15 to 40 minutes that like sometimes you notice, you know, your body isn't really like fighting to get it out. Like it's not having that gassy type of reaction anymore. Usually it's because I think my body was starting to get used to it. So not only did I have to start pushing myself past keeping it in for like 40 minutes, like I had to start going, okay, now I'm gonna go an hour. Oh, now I'm going to go 2 hours. So right now, today is actually, it's 1 month since I've been doing the rectal glutathione. I'm actually on about, 3 to 4 hours. Like that's how long I usually keep it in now. And so this is a new thing for me. Like it just happened within this last week that I've been able to keep it in for that long. So basically the trick to it is to do it right before you go to bed. So before I was doing it like within the hour before I got ready for bed. Now I notice that if I'm doing it when I start to get sleepy, sometimes my will to sleep will override whatever I'm feeling or whatever I'm thinking about, because a lot like when you're doing coffee enemas, it comes in waves. So you don't always feel like you have to just like let it out all at once. Like sometimes you'll feel comfortable and you won't feel much at all, and then all of a sudden like you'll get the urge. If you can fight through that urge, that's when like the magic happens. That's when you notice that you're able to like actually keep it in for way longer. So if you're falling asleep, then the nights that I fall asleep, I have no idea how long I'm keeping it in. Like sometimes I think it's like closer to 5 hours. And then I just like wake up in the middle of the night and, you know, obviously release it. And then other times it'll be like 2 to 3 hours. So I highly recommend, if you're having issues keeping it in for a long amount of time, try to do it right before you go to sleep, like when you're really tired. If getting the mixture ready is difficult for you, get it ready like, you know, before, and then like just have it sitting waiting for you, maybe even sitting in the syringe, and then, you know, right before you're about to lay down, go ahead, apply it, and watch how your need for sleep will outrule your need to worry about when are you going to be able to like release the rectal syringe. So I think last night I did it right before bed, but also I started watching a movie. The movie had me like so engrossed in it, and I was also like really tired that I didn't want to get up, and so I was able to leave it in for like closer to 3 hours. I think I put it in at like 8 and it didn't come out till not 10. So well, no, I think I put it in around 7. It was 7, and then oh my gosh, I tried to work out with it, and that didn't really work out very well for me. I tried to do some sit-ups, and yeah, I think I got through 3 sets, and then I stopped. Like it was too much. It was actually making me feel like I really needed to release it. So I don't recommend working out while you have a rectal syringe in, but you know, you can do whatever you want to. But yeah, 3 hours, pretty good. And I was still awake for those 3 hours, but every night before then, because I was talking about last night, so Thursday night, every night before then I'd been just falling asleep with it in, and yeah, it it's been really helping. And like I said, the longer you keep it in, the more bile you're making. So sadly, if you find that your body finally starts getting used to keeping it in for 15 minutes and it's not really that pressing and you stop being as gassy, that might be kind of not the best sign. Like, you might want to keep it in for maybe double that amount of time, or maybe if you can't go a full 30 minutes, like maybe around 20 to 25 minutes, right there in the middle, and just see how your body starts reacting. And then like just keep on trying to push it and push it and push it. You can do like a week of doing it, like releasing it all at once at time, or maybe just go a couple days leaving it in for 20 minutes, a couple days leaving it in for 30 minutes, and just go like that. But until you work up into leaving it in for like an hour or up to 3 hours, or like, you know, I got really lucky the other night and it was like closer to 5 hours. So yeah, the longer you leave it in, the more it starts to work. And yeah, the more it works. Like I said, the drawback to any rectal syringe is, you know, the smell, like the gas. But you have to understand, it's creating bile, and then it's also moving out a whole lot of waste, and then of course the bile that it's just magically produced. So it's really interesting how this all works. But I'm excited, and like I said, it's only been a month on rectal syringe. So before that I was doing what I would call a low dose of acetyl, because I would not in good faith recommend you do 600 milligrams of acetyl every day. I would say, oh, maybe like 900 or something like that, or 1,000. Like, it's just up to you, and I guess up to your wallet too, because like doing it that way can get really expensive. And so yeah, I couldn't justify getting 2 bottles that are $70 each of the acetyl glutathione. So that's why I was like, okay, let's try to go to reduced glutathione. And so now this method, it's interesting because like I'm getting definitely more of a physical response out of my body, but also like a glow. Like, I'm also like seeing the difference. And then I think people who are doing coffee enemas, I think it's I highly recommend, if you're going to do daily coffee enemas. I know it's kind of time consuming. Thankfully the rectal syringes aren't really, because you can still go do things. When I'm doing a coffee enema, I can't really multitask. I can watch a YouTube video, but I can't like, yeah, I can't go walk around, or it's so much water that it's harder. So if you have the time to do daily coffee enemas, I highly recommend it, because maybe let's say you have some glutathione and you don't, you know, you can't be taking 4,000 to 6,000 milligrams of glutathione a day. So I guess a way to cheat and go around it but also get really good results would be it's cheaper to buy coffee, and then it's also going to be cheaper just to put 1,000 milligrams, so just one little scoop of 1,000 milligrams of that glutathione into that coffee. And then to do it, make sure you're leaving it in for at least 15 minutes. So apply it. Don't start the timer when you're starting to insert the coffee enema and it's starting. Start the timer after you've used up all the water, then you start your 15 minutes. But doing that every single day, I think it just insane. When I was just doing weekly coffee enemas with I was doing a scoop of glutathione and a scoop of MSM, that was, you know, that was more in 2019. And you can look back at some of those old videos and my complexion is very, you know, it was much lighter. But you know, obviously I've had some setbacks. But yeah, that's what I would say. Like, if you're on more of a financial crunch, I think the daily coffee enemas adding in like 1,000 milligrams of glutathione would really help you. Yeah. If not, then do the rectal syringe. But if you're going to be doing the rectal syringe, you really need to be working up to leaving it in longer. And so it's just one of those things where you'll get used to your body, and yeah, you'll be able to push yourself further and further. But it might not just happen overnight, being able to leave it in for like an hour or 2 hours. But I don't know, you'll see. It's trial and error. So the more new things you try, you'll figure out what works for you.